Today, we're diving into the story behind one of the most beloved hymns of all time, Trust and Obey. This timeless hymn was penned by Henry Sammis. John's story begins on July 6, 1846, in Brooklyn, New York. Growing up, a life in ministry wasn't the obvious path for Sammis. In fact, he started his career as a businessman, focused on the world of commerce. But God had other plans. As he grew older, he felt a gentle, persistent spiritual calling that he could no longer ignore. Answering this call, Sammis became a Presbyterian minister. His ministry took him across the American Midwest, where he served congregations in states like Minnesota, Indiana, and Ohio. As a preacher, his style was simple, clear, and filled with practical wisdom. He had a heart for the everyday believer, focusing his messages on the core principles of the Christian walk, trusting God through life's trials, walking with Him daily, and faithfully obeying His word. Little did he know, these very themes would soon become the foundation for his most famous work. The pivotal moment came in 1887. Sammis was attending an evangelistic meeting led by the renowned evangelist Dwight Moody. During the service, a young man stood up to share his testimony. When asked about his plans for the future and how he would navigate life's uncertainties, his response was beautifully simple yet profound. He said, "I'm not quite sure, but I'm going to trust, and I'm going to obey." Those words, "I'm going to trust, and I'm going to obey," resonated powerfully in the room. They especially struck Daniel B. Towner, the musician leading the worship for the service. Towner couldn't get the phrase out of his head. He knew there was something special in that young man's declaration of faith. He later shared the story with his friend John Sammis. For Sammis, it was like a lightning bolt of inspiration. He immediately saw the profound universal truth captured in that simple statement. He took the phrase and began to craft a poem around it, expanding on the beautiful simplicity of what it means to follow Jesus. This poem would soon become the lyrics to the hymn we now know as Trust and Obey. But Sammis's contribution to hymnody didn't stop there. Over his lifetime, he wrote the lyrics to more than 100 hymns. Later in his life, Sammis moved to California and took on a new role as a faculty member at the Los Angeles Bible Institute. Today we know that institution as Biola University. There, he continued to pour into the next generation, influencing young believers. John H. Sammis passed away on June 12, 1919, in Los Angeles. But his legacy is far from over. It lives on every time a church congregation, a family, or a lone believer sings those powerful words he wrote, "Trust and obey." For there's no other way to be happy in Jesus, but to trust and obey. And through his hymns, that quiet faithfulness continues to speak to our hearts today.